Alright, just got back from doing the Comic Hero show, and now it's time for Comically Speaking. So without further ado, let's talk comics! Welcome to this week's edition of Comically Speaking. I'm your host, Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero, coming to you from a humble abode. Alright, let's get right into it with what shines. Alright, this is what shines to me. There is supposed to be a crossover between The Flash, Supergirl, Arrow, and Legends of Tomorrow. And it's supposed to last 3 hours. Do you know how epic that is? I'm very excited about it. I hope it falls into place. And I hope the CW airs it, because I will most definitely be watching that. We have all these superheroes all in 3 hours. If that's not epic, I don't know what is. Alright, that's the only thing I have to talk about in what shines. Now, let's talk about what stinks. There's only one thing that stinks, and that's the, just found out that Alan Moore, longtime comics creator, who has mostly been with DC, is announcing his retirement. For those of y'all who don't know, Alan Moore is most famous for some of the books that he's done for DC, notably Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow, and also on Batman. And most popular, the best thing he's ever done had to been his creation, alongside Dave Gibbons, The Watchmen. That revolutionized comics in a way we have never seen before, and the Watchmen are still around. And I say it stinks. I'm not mad about it, because writing comics is almost like any other occupation. I mean, you can do it for so long, and to the point where you just don't have the drive for it. And Alan Moore, all I have to say, if you're watching this, thank you. Thank you so much for all the years that you put in, all the great creations. Comics will never be the same without you, and good luck to you on your future endeavors. Alright, now let's talk about what I'm reading. Alright, what I'm reading right now are a lot of the Superman books, or Superman related books. Like, for example, Superman, I just read part 6 of Son of Superman, the first story arc of the new series, and it was awesome. Words cannot describe just how awesome it was. It all started, with Superman realizing that his and Lois's son John needed to know his Kryptonian heritage, with him being half Kryptonian and half human. So he takes him to Superman's old Fortress of Solitude. Now keep in mind, this Superman is from the original DC universe. The other Superman, the one from the New 52, died. And so, with that Superman's death, this Superman has decided to come out of the shadows and become the Superman everyone, and not just the Superman, but the superhero everyone deserves and everyone needs in the New 52. It's a great book, and when they get to the Fortress of Solitude, they encounter the Eradicator. Now keep in mind, the Eradicator was one of 4 characters who tried to take on the mantle of Superman after he was killed after the Superman for the original DC universe was killed by Doomsday nearly 24 years ago. And he had his own method of doing things. He was a killer. But then when Superman came back from the dead, he's like, dude, you can't do that. And he's like, all right. This isn't the same Eradicator. This Eradicator is all about self-preservation. In other words, he's a bad guy. And he notices that John is half human, half Kryptonian. He's like, nope. He's either you're Kryptonian or you're not. And he tries to kill him. Along the way, he ends up getting, Krypto, the superpowered, the Kryptonian dog, Superman's dog, that is, tries to go after him. And then what does the Eradicator do? He swallows him whole. Yeah. And then later he would do the same thing to Superman. But when Superman was inside the Eradicator, he found out that he and Krypto weren't alone. Every person who died on Krypton, the spirits or the souls of every person that died on Krypton were inside the Eradicator as well. And Superman's like, we got to get out of here. And not just me, not just Krypto, we're all getting out of here. Y'all do not deserve this. And meanwhile, Lois takes it upon herself to get inside one of Batman's mechanic suits, and she puts up a good fight against the Eradicator, and so does John. But John, with him having the same power set as his dear old dad, he doesn't need a mechanic suit. And he put up a good fight, but then Superman and and all the souls that perished on Krypton end up exiting the Eradicator. Now we find out that all those souls were what fueled the Eradicator. He was only running on 10%. And Superman starts beating the mess out of him, and then he says, Krypto, get out of there now. So Krypto gets out of there, and he has no power, and his Superman destroys him. And they all go back to Earth. Well, actually, it started out at, in the Fortress of Solitude, but it ended on the moon. Well, afterwards they end up going back to Earth, and then the Eradicator. Not the Eradicator, but then Superman's like, okay, I'm going to take y'all to meet tells John, okay, I'm going to take you to meet some folks. So he goes up to the Justice League Watchtower, and he's like, hey guys, I want y'all to meet somebody. This is my son John. He's the new Superboy. So there you have it. John Kent is now the new Superboy. Alright, what's going on in Action Comics? Action Comics has Superman, from the original DC Universe, go up against the new 52 version of Doomsday. And this time he pulls no punches. Besides, when you have a second chance of life after you get killed by a monster similar to the one you're fighting, you better not pull any punches. And he doesn't. But along the way, he has help. The Superwoman, who I'll get to in a minute, that helps out. And then Lex Luthor. Well, really, to talk about this, I have to go back a little further. Superman finds out Lex Luthor is wearing this armor that has the S shield on it, and Superman's like, oh heck no. Oh heck no. But what little does he know, this Lex Luthor is actually a good person. He's not as sinister as the one in the original DC Universe. And he finds that out firsthand. He's like, alright, fine, you want to help? Just stay out of my way. And we also find out this other figure who claims to be Clark Kent. Now, Action Comics number 963, which was a book that was featured in the Comic Books I Bought This Week segment of the Comic Hero Show that you've already watched. If you haven't, stop! Go back and watch episode 129, and then watch this. Well, anyway. What was that? Oh, that's right. Well, they all fight him, and the story arc ends with Superman sending Doomsday to the Phantom Zone, or so he thought. This mysterious figure that's been watching since the very beginning of the story arc ended up intercepting Doomsday's transport to the Phantom Zone, and he has it all to himself. And in this upcoming story arc, we find out who is really this person claiming to be Clark Kent. In the story arc simply called "Who is Clark Kent?" I know, how astute. It also Superwoman. Now, I almost bought number 2 came out today. I almost bought it, but I decided not to do it. But I'll buy it whenever. We find out that there is a there's not just one Superwoman. There's two of them. It's the Lois Lane of the New 52 universe and the Lana Lang of the New 52 universe. At the very end of number 1, they were fighting this creature some woman who is Bizarro, who looked like the female version of Bizarro. Well, she defeats the Lois Lane Superwoman by turning her to dust. And now all that's left is the Lana Lang Superwoman. So yeah. And then also, Supergirl number 1. The new issue just dropped last week. I've yet to read it, but whoever's right, yeah. But in the book, they're using elements of the TV series. Instead of fighting Crime Metropolis, she's now in National City. So they're using National City. They're also using her adopted parents, the Danverses. Only difference is she gets an encounter with the cyborg Superman, who is secretly her father, Zor-El. That's right, folks. It's not Hank Henshaw. Gotta pronunciate. It's not Hank Henshaw, just like it was in the original DC universe. This one is Zor-El, and it's not by choice. How he became to be a cyborg Superman was that when Krypton exploded, he managed to survive, but barely. And his life was hanging on to a thread. Brainiac found him. He's like, okay, I'm going to rewrite your DNA. And now he's a cyborg Superman. So there you have it. And lastly, New Superman. Love that book. I just read the first 2 issues. And it talks about this kid named Kong Keenan, who was actually a bully. He was some bully, but then he ended up taking down some bad guy, and then Dr. Omen had said, okay, since you were strong enough to take down that guy, I'm going to give you Superman's powers. How about that? And so he uses his powers, and then he encounters the Batman and Wonder Woman of China. And they're part of the Justice League of China. And they know that he's arrogant, so they ended up having him wear these goggles. Now, the one thing about these goggles, though, is that they suppress his powers. In the event that he might get out of line or anything. But he ends up breaking the goggles and they go up against this villain named Sunbeam. And the next thing you know, they say, okay, this kid's all right. But then he ends up encountering some reporter, and then he takes pictures. He gets selfies with folks, and then the Batman and Wonder Woman of China are like, "You have got to be kidding me." So that's what I'm reading. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. This is a little shorter. I'm trying to make this show a little shorter than, really, especially the first episode. I was very long-winded that day. But, but this is the Comics News Show. Now, the Comic Hero Show is like the fun show. This is like, this show is fun too, but I talk about comics news. Like, if it has anything to do with the books, comic book movies, comic book TV shows, anything in the realm of comics, I'm going to talk about on this show. Alright, I'm Victor Nunley. I'm the Comic Hero. I'll see you next week for episode 5 of the Comic Hero Show and also episode 130. Well, I'm sorry. Episode 130 of the Comic Hero Show and episode 5 of Comically Speaking, right back here at my humble abode. So till then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero, and beware my power.